Wednesday morning, let's rise and shine. Separate your bed from your behind. Tell the stranger sleeping next to you to get the hell out, you've got things to do. Wednesday morning, the week's half done. Try to sober up, it's time to run. There's only 3 days left working from 9 to 5. Then it's party time. Party time. Just a little more work to do. Let's get on up and get the damn thing through. Then we'll get back to numbing our minds.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Jean. She is on vacation. It is raining out, and Ozzy Osbourne has died. We are going to be playing, I'm going to be playing nothing but Ozzy and Sabbath all morning long. We're going to be talking about it, taking your texts, taking your voicemails, sending your pictures, whatever you got. You want to share memories of going to Ozfest. You want to share memories of going to see Black Sabbath or seeing his television shows, his numerous appearances on all sorts of different types of media. Ozzy passing away at the age of 76, just weeks after, literally weeks after his final performance with Black Sabbath. No word on a cause of death. He had just taken the stage a couple of weeks ago for the Back to the Beginning show, and his family releasing an official statement, of course, saying, quote, "It is with more sadness than mere words can convey that we have to report that our beloved Ozzy Osbourne has passed away this morning. He was with his family and surrounded by love. We ask everyone to respect our family privacy at this time." Black Sabbath invented heavy metal, and if you don't agree with that, you're wrong. And that song was the title track from their very first album, which came out a number of years ago, and essentially said, here we go, we're flopping it on the desk, and this is what we're doing now. And just like Corey Taylor's tweet about Ozzy, without him, a lot of us wouldn't be around. So impactful, a true legend. Ozzy Osbourne, rest in peace. More on that throughout the morning. It is also Workforce Wednesday, so feel free to sign up to win freebies from the Sweet Stop and Sandwich Shop on our website, rockmornings.com. We're going to get to more Black Sabbath. We'll get to some Ozzy solo stuff. I only have 3 hours, so please excuse me if I can't fit every single song in, but I'm going to do my best to fit in some really cool old school jams, some rare stuff maybe that you haven't heard in a while. And we're going to be doing a Black Sabbath, Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne weekend starting on Friday here on 95.7 The Rock. And I'm sure that our friends at 92.9 The X are also working on something for this weekend to highlight and show support and love for the Prince of effing Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne. More on that in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
An absolutely legendary life and career. Ozzy Osbourne dead at the age of 76. Tributes pouring in left and right from all sorts of people in the industry. Bill Ward, the drummer for Black Sabbath. Where will I find you now? In the memories, our unspoken embraces, our missed phone calls. No, you're forever in my heart. Deepest condolences to Sharon and all family members. Rest in peace. Sincere regrets to all the fans. Never goodbye. Thank you forever, Bill Ward. Geezer Butler, the bass player, of course, for Sabbath, said, goodbye, dear friend. Thanks for all those years. We had some great fun. 4 kids from Aston. Who'd have thought, eh? So glad we got to do it one last time back in Aston. Thank you. Love you. And Tony Iommi, guitarist for Sabbath, also speaking about Ozzy, saying, I just can't believe it. My dear friend Ozzy has passed away only weeks after our show at Villa Park. He added, it's just such heartbreaking news that I can't really find the words. There won't ever be another like him. Geezer, Bill, and myself have lost our brother. My thoughts go out to Sharon and all the Osbourne family. Rest in peace, Oz. Tony. Lots of other tributes pouring in from all sorts of other artists. We'll talk about those throughout the morning. Ozzy's life, of course, wild and crazy times. Got his start in Black Sabbath. in the musical industry at least. Got fired in 79, launched a massively successful solo career. Early 2000s, reinventing himself, made his family extremely famous with the MTV reality show The Osbournes. Of course, many of us remember Ozfest, going to those in the mid to late 90s all the way through 2018. Along the way, Ozzy, of course, known for biting the head off of a bat, which happened in Iowa. Snorting a line of ants, got arrested for peeing on the Alamo while wearing his wife's dress. Lots of mind-altering substances, sold over 100 million records. In the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice, once as a solo artist, once with Black Sabbath back in 2006. His health, of course, became an issue in the early 2000s following an ATV accident in 2003. Broke his collarbone, 8 ribs, neck vertebra. Re-injured his neck in a fall in 2019. I believe he was going to the bathroom in the middle of the night and fell down. And lately, it's been the Parkinson's disease, which he was diagnosed with after that fall in 2019. Back in 2023, just a couple of years ago, in an interview, he said his life had been 5 years of absolute hell. And then, of course, just a few weeks ago, able to perform one last time at the Back to the Beginning show in Birmingham, raised over $190 million for charity. Ozzy survived by his wife Sharon, his daughter Kelly, and his son Jack. Also a son named Louis John, an adopted son named Elliot Kingsley, and the daughter Jessica Starshine, all from his first marriage. And then there's Amy, a daughter of Ozzy and Sharon, who opted not to be on the Osbourne's family show, but of course many of us learned about her as well. Had a bit of a singing career. And his career was awesome, man. It was unbelievable. Ozzy, dead at the age of 76. And what more can you say about that?
May he rest in peace, our minds and our souls. You forever changed our lives. Love you, Ozzy.
That is a voicemail from Jay, sent it through our app. You can download the 95.7 The Rock app or the 92.9 The X app, and you can send us voicemails, you can submit pictures, you can submit videos. So if you've got some favorite memories or if you just want to say something about Ozzy as we come to terms with his passing, you can certainly do that this morning. Love to hear from you guys. Got a text from Jim, said, a legend is gone, great childhood memories. Yeah, I went to Ozfest a number of times, and you know, you see these people on stage and you think it's going to last forever, and it never does. Here's more Black Sabbath, again from their original debut album, their self-titled debut album. It's another jam. It's The Wizard.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
For us tonight.
Ozzy on 3. 1, 2, 3. Ozzy!
Well, we all know the time is going to take us rockers, but when the giants fall, it's really hard to accept, even though, you know, everybody saw it coming with Ozzy. It took our breath away when it happened. So Ozzy and family, your music and your legend, the humor, all that you brought to the rock business will live on forever, and we're going to miss you, man.
We're going to dedicate tonight's show to the memory of the life and laughter of Ozzy Osbourne. For being the Prince of Darkness, he sure gave us a lot of lights. So,
Alice Cooper and Ghosts. Going to see a lot of that over the next couple of weeks and months and years. Alice Cooper dedicating his concert last night to Ozzy, said on Twitter, we found out that the world lost Ozzy just minutes before going on stage in Cardiff, Wales, which is about 2 hours from where Ozzy was born. Alice and his bandmates before the show, along with Alice's comments on social media after the show, and then Ghost in New York City last night dedicating their show to the Prince of effing Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne, who has passed on at the age of 76. More Ozzy, more Black Sabbath, all coming up this morning over the next 2.5 hours. Lots of tributes, lots of memories. If you want to share any, rockmornings.com, or you can download the 95.7 The Rock app or the 92.9 The X app, and you can send in voicemails, images, videos, and share with us. Love to hear from you. Cal Raleigh hit his major league leading 39th home run of the season last night. Logan Gilbert, 6 1/3 shutout innings, and the Mariners ending the Brew Crew 11-game winning streak at 1-0 last night.
Mariners and Munoz looking for one more out. That 27th out, hanging on to a 1-0 lead. So here's Vaughn to face Munoz.
11-game winning streak on the line.
Chopping, Williamson over to second, and the Mariners win it. They have taken game 2.
And that will end the 11-game winning streak for the Milwaukee Brewers.
For the Mariners, their 7th shutout of the season, and their 3rd by a 1-0 decision.
Final game of that 3-game series is today at 2:40. Brewers look to rebound and take the series. Arizona Cardinals, former Arizona Cardinals safety and current New Orleans Saints defensive back Tyrann Mathieu, a.k.a. the Honey Badger, announced yesterday that he is retiring from the NFL after a 12-year career that began in the desert. 33-year-old, due a $1.5 million base salary for the Saints this year, posted the caption on Instagram, quote, "As I hang up my cleats, I'm filled with gratitude as I close this chapter of my life and officially retire from the game that has shaped me in every way." In Washington, the Commanders receiver Terry McLaurin, who last week expressed his frustration with the negotiations for a contract extension with the team, failed to report to training camp yesterday. McLaurin not present for the Commanders' conditioning test that marked the unofficial start of training camp. And Caitlin Clark, obviously out this past weekend at the WNBA All-Star activities because of an injury. The ratings for Saturday's WNBA game, the All-Star game, on ABC, down 36% from last year, but still drew the second most viewers in the showcase's history. So even though it was down quite a bit from last year, it was still up from previous WNBA All-Star games. The contest in Indianapolis drew 2.19 million viewers, down from a record 3.44 million last year. It's still the most watched program of the night across the television landscape. So yeah, that's how impactful Caitlin Clark is. 36% less viewers. They said, nah, without Caitlin Clark, there's no reason to watch. Oof. That's some powerful stuff. More Black Sabbath coming up in just a bit. We'll talk more about Ozzy's life. If you want to share memories, images, videos, voicemails, please get in touch with us. It's a celebration of all things Ozzy this morning.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
That, of course, is the incredibly classic song War Pigs from Black Sabbath off of their second studio album, Paranoid. Earlier this hour, we heard the title track from their debut album, Black Sabbath, also The Wizard and Nativity in Black. More from Ozzy's career all throughout this morning, talking about Ozzy, who, of course, passed away at the age of 76, a true legend. 2003, Ozzy's life changed for the worse after an ATV accident where he essentially flipped it over and broke his body in half. Here is his longtime bodyguard and friend, Sam Rustin, talking about the ATV accident.
Ozzy, can you breathe?
Ozzy's laying face down. His body's pretty twisted. I turned him over and I put my head on his chest, and I hear no breath, no heartbeat, nothing. I remember tilting his head back and pinching his nose, and I cleared his mouth with my finger, and I remember breathing in his mouth 4 short breaths.
I have got no memory whatsoever.
He stopped breathing again, so I again cleared his throat. I just gave one good breath, and he started breathing again. He told me, just get me the F up, is what he said. I helped him up.
That was 2003. Ozzy breaking his collarbone, 8 ribs, and a vertebrae in his neck, and then suffered another fall in 2019, which, of course, did even more damage.
When I had the fall, it was pitch black. I went for the bathroom. I just fell and landed like a slam on the floor. And I remember lying there thinking, well, he's done it now. Really calm. I was trying to get an ambulance. After that, it was all downhill.
But you're on the mend.
It's taken its time, though.
It's nearly a year.
Worst, longest, most painful, miserable year of my life.
That was 2019 after a painful fall while making his way to the bathroom, and obviously the Parkinson's disease. And thankfully, we got one final show just about 2 weeks ago with the Back to the Beginning with Black Sabbath and pretty much everybody else. And can you imagine how special that moment is now for all those bands that were able to be there and be a part of that? Pretty incredible. Plus the fans, obviously, who were able to attend. More on Ozzy's life, more Black Sabbath, more Ozzy tunes coming up this morning. It's also Workforce Wednesday. Sign up to win freebies from the Sweet Stop and Sandwich Shop in Preston. Go to rockmornings.com. You can also find all of our contact info there if you want to get in touch with us this morning. The fourth season premiere of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is on ABC tonight at 7 o'clock. Drew Carey and Aisha Tyler, are in the hot seat along with Matt Damon and Ken Jennings. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Season 4 premiere tonight on ABC. Season 6 premiere of Match Game on ABC tonight after the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Selena Gomez, Anthony Anderson, B.D. Wong, Cara Delevingne, Kevin Nealon, a bunch of other people. Match Game on ABC. 27th season premiere of South Park on Comedy Central tonight. Also, the first season finale of Building the Band on Netflix and the first season finale of Stick over on Apple TV+. And the series premiere of Washington Black on Hulu. An 11-year-old kid with a keen scientific mind forced to flee his 19th century plantation. Sterling K. Brown helping him on his journey as he grows into manhood. It's called Washington Black, and it premieres today on Hulu.
Welcome to Halifax. Last stop on the Underground Railroad. Everybody step off with their own story. Boy, do I got one for you. Story about a young man and the boy he used to be.
Tell me your name.
George Washington Black.
How did you do that? That's a clever one, isn't he? You're going to be working with me from here on out.
The series premiere of Washington Black today on Hulu. Late night shows are new. Fallon is talking to Anthony Mackie. Comedian Robert Klein and Ghost is going to perform on Fallon tonight. Obviously, there'll be quite a bit of Ozzy stuff. Jimmy Kimmel's got Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. And I want to have them answered immediately.
Along with Fitz and the Tantrums, guest hosted Kimmel's show is by Fortune Feimster, the comedian. Stephen Colbert is going to be talking to Molly Gordon and Steve Buscemi.
How do you do, fellow kids?
LL Cool J and Vanessa Kirby on with Seth Meyers tonight. That's what's on the boob tube. Boy, this rain and lightning, huh? Something else. Glad he didn't ride the Harley. Got a text from Alex. Good morning, folks. I am absolutely destroyed. Yesterday was an awful day. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way about the death of Ozzy Osbourne. More from Black Sabbath. This one again from their second studio album, the title track. It's Paranoid.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Fairies Wear Boots from Black Sabbath off of their Paranoid album, which came out 55 years ago in 1970. Also heard Paranoid, the title track, and War Pigs. We'll get to their third studio album, Master of Reality, in just a couple of minutes as we celebrate the life and times of Ozzy Osbourne. It was great at times. It was wild at times. Snorting ants, peeing on the Alamo, touring the world with a number of different bands, Ozfests, appearances in movies, TV shows, animated specials, all sorts of highlights to his career, man. Ozzy all over the place. Commercials in the Super Bowl. DNA on cans of Liquid Death. Travis Barker apparently owns one of those, so maybe we'll get an Ozzy clone at some point. But Ozzy dead at the age of 76. One of the lowlights to his career and times was when he apparently tried to kill his wife, Sharon Osbourne.
I felt the calmest I'd ever felt in my life.
He came into the room and he said, "We've come to a decision that you've got to die." You know, he was calm and then just suddenly he lunged across at me. he just dived on me and started to choke me. He got me down on the ground on top of me, and I was feeling for stuff on the table, and I felt for the panic button, and I just pressed it. Next thing I know, cops were there.
All I remember was waking up in Amersham jail, and I asked the cop, why am I here? I've been arrested for attempted murder of Sharon Osbourne. I'm like...
Does it make you feel uncomfortable when you talk about it?
Well, it's not exactly one of my greatest achievements.
Through all that, though, they remained married, and she was, of course, kind of a momager to Ozzy. One of the more funny moments of their life and times together was when Sharon talked about Ozzy being in the delivery room when they were having their children.
He's so fascinated by the whole birth thing, and he's like in there and looking in a light on his head. Every time the baby's head starts to come out, he fainted. So it's like...
I fainted?
Yeah, did you? Hey, he fainted.
I was drunk.
Yes.
Oh, you want that part out.
He fell on the floor, and all these miniatures fell out of his pocket. All these different ones fell out.
I was celebrating.
Yes.
Ozzy and Sharon talking about some of the good times and some of the bad times. Dead at the age of 76. We'll continue to remember Ozzy, play songs from Black Sabbath and from his solo career. And it is also Workforce Wednesday, so make sure you sign up for that online at rockmornings.com. Try to get to some other stuff, sports, bad news, happy music. And here's a guy in Vermont that is an engineer and saw a need and decided to do something about it. This guy's an electrical engineer in rural Vermont, so he's out there in the boonies. And he's pitching in by fixing up old payphones and then installing them in spots where there's no cell service. But apparently there's landline service. He buys them for a couple of $100, adds a gadget that connects to them, connects the phones to the internet. Okay, so there is no landline. And then installs them outside of businesses. So they run off the business's Wi-Fi. Says since they're online, you don't need a quarter. The calls are free. The one getting used the most happens to be outside of a library. He says kids use it to call their parents for rides. Maybe they're done checking out books and they need a ride home. Each phone costs $10 a month in admin fees, and he pays for all of it. Also, the operator. So if you dial 0, it rings his cell phone, and he connects you to the next available person.
The phone thing kind of came along by accident. Found an old piece of phone equipment in the garage. Partially inspired by other projects that were doing exactly the same thing, putting payphones out in public spaces and making them free. But it was also driven by living in rural Vermont for a period of time and knowing that, wow, we have no cell service out here.
Everyone's pretty surprised, and they're like, is that a real payphone? Does that really work? And I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't cost any money now. We have had people use it that broke down. It's a great thing because, service is so spotty in Vermont.
Rare that you see a payphone, let alone one that works in this day and age. And the guy's name is Patrick Schlott. And he spent countless hours tinkering with new and old technology. And now his best endeavor might be these payphones that he's refurbishing, setting up outside of businesses, and letting people use them for free in rural Vermont. How cool is that? Ozzy stuff and more Black Sabbath in just a bit. Rockmornings.com if you want to get in touch with me.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
Well, here we are. You know what? I can't believe I'm here myself. I'd like to thank whoever voted me into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for my solo work. A great thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really... Thank you. And more so, my fans have been so loyal to me over the years. I cannot thank them enough.
That is Ozzy at his Hall of Fame induction as a solo artist from last year. Of course, already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Black Sabbath. That happened back in 2006.
First of all, I'd like to thank the people who arranged this for finally getting us up here, because we've been chosen for about 7 times, to my knowledge, to receive this award, and this is the 8th time, and so we're finally here. I would also like to take the opportunity to thank my business manager, Colin Newman, and my lovely wife and family, Sharon and Amy and Kelly and Jack. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my wife, Gloria, son, Biff and James. I'd like to dedicate this to Cliff Burton and Dimebag Darrell. Cheers.
From the Black Sabbath Hall of Fame induction back in 2006, Jack Black, of course, was at the Ozzy Solo Artist Hall of Fame induction. Had some very funny things to say about the Prince of Effing Darkness.
The greatest frontman in the history of rock and roll, Ozzy Osbourne. Proving insane lasting power. Then what? The Osbournes. Yeah, he teamed up with his family to create another genre, reality TV. Maybe the most evil thing he ever did. But there is no denying it. His whole family were hilarious and intensely entertaining. Then what? Oh, maybe just a little thing called Ozfest. Only the most successful heavy metal music festival of all times. Ozzy, stop creating incredibly successful genre-defining, world-changing hits. It's too much success for one lifetime.
A lot of success for the Ozman over the course of his career, now dead at the age of 76. More tributes pouring in from bands and artists all over the world. Metallica saying, Ozzy R.I.P. It's impossible to put into words what Ozzy Osbourne has meant to Metallica. Hero, icon, pioneer, inspiration, mentor, and most of all, friend are a few that come to mind. Ozzy and Sharon believed in us and transformed our lives and careers. He taught us how to play in the big leagues while at the same time being warm, welcoming, engaging, and all-around brilliant. We are heartbroken and devastated by this loss and send our love and condolences to Sharon and their family, bandmates, and his very large circle of friends. He left an incredible legacy and will be sorely missed. Judas Priest saying, our hearts are broken like millions around the world. Words can't express the love and loss we are all feeling. Sharon, may God surround you and your beautiful family with love, peace, and light. Ozzy, you will never leave us. Your music is eternal. God blesses you now more than ever after you blessed us all through your magnificent life. Rob, Glenn, Ian, Richie, and Scott. Elton John also offering up some condolences, saying, so sad to hear the news of Ozzy Osbourne passing away. He was a dear friend and a huge trailblazer who secured his place in the pantheon of rock gods, a true legend. He was also one of the funniest people I've ever met. I will miss him dearly. To Sharon and the family, I send my condolences and love. Tons of tributes pouring in from around the globe, and obviously Ozzy, one of the greatest to ever do it.
I'm Ozzy Osbourne, and I'm the Prince of Darkness.
No doubt about it. More Sabbath now from their third studio album, Master of Reality. This is Children of the Grave.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. A tribute to Ozzy Osbourne, who passed away at the age of 76, playing nothing but Sabbath and Ozzy this morning. That, of course, Sweetly from their third studio album, Master of Reality. We will get to the Ozzy solo stuff here in just a bit. In fact, Drywall Bill wants to hear Crazy Train. I definitely have that coming up. Paul said, rest in peace, Ozzy. Farewell and thanks for all your memories. Long live the Prince of Darkness. Alex said, I made a big old sappy post yesterday about his impact on my life. I could write a book about it if I really wanted to, and I suggested that maybe you should write a book. And he said, but who gives a rat's ass about my life? LOL. You never know, dude. You never know. Maybe it'll be cathartic for you, right? As opposed to, being a New York Times bestseller. Maybe it's just about you putting it on paper. Maybe you don't have to release it as a book. Maybe you just write a journal. I don't know. Just an idea, just a thought. That's all. We will get back to the Sabbath and Ozzy in just a couple minutes. But first, sports. There is other things happening in the world, obviously. The Brewers' 11-game win streak came to an end last night against the Mariners. 1-0 loss. Final game of the 3-game series today at 2:40. Former UFC light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira attempt to reclaim the throne against Magomed Ankalaev. I think I butchered that last name. UFC 320, that'll be October 4th in Vegas. Dana White announced the immediate 205-pound title rematch on social media yesterday.
It's time!
Dana White also said that Tom Aspinall's first defense of the UFC's undisputed heavyweight championship will come against Cyril Gain, on October 25th. Heavyweight championship bout will headline UFC 321 in Abu Dhabi. Aspinall elevated to the undisputed championship last month after former champ John Bones Jones decided to retire rather than face him. So his first title defense coming up in October. The home plate that sat inches away from Barry Bonds' cleats the moment that he became baseball's all-time home run leader back in 2007 is back at auction this week, just over a year after it was sold for $37,515. Originally hailing from his personal collection, Bonds known to have kept many of his key pieces from his milestone events. It comes with an MLB authenticity hologram as well as a Bonds LOA. It will sell now at SCP auctions, bidding currently at $32,500. So if you've ever wanted to own a home plate that featured prominently in a important moment in history, in baseball history, then here's your chance. And if you got an extra, 40 grand laying around, you can pick up that home plate. The U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee changing its rules to prevent participation by transgender women athletes. On page 5 of its athlete safety policy is a paragraph that states the USOPC is committed to protecting opportunities for athletes participating in sports. The USOPC will continue to collaborate with various stakeholders with oversight responsibilities to ensure that women have a fair and safe competition environment consistent with Executive Order 14201 and the Ted Stevens Olympic and Amateur Sports Act. In a letter sent out yesterday to the U.S. Olympic community, the USOPC president, Gene Sykes, and the CEO, Sarah Hirschland, said the change came after a series of respectful and constructive conversations with federal officials following the executive order, which, of course, President Trump signed back in February. So the rule change is now official there for the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic committees. Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Back to the Ozzy in just a couple of minutes with some Crazy Train. We'll do that next on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
Ozzy with Mr. Crowley. Before that, Crazy Train. Both of those songs from his debut solo album, Blizzard of Oz, as we celebrate the life and times of Ozzy Osbourne, who passed away yesterday at the age of 76. Talking about some of the tributes that have been offered up online for Ozzy, many of them coming from bands and musicians, people who were influenced by him. One of the more interesting tributes is from the Alamo. Yeah, in Texas. We at the Alamo are saddened to hear of the passing of legendary musician Ozzy Osbourne. His relationship with the Alamo was marked initially by a deeply disrespectful incident in 1982. This act profoundly and rightfully upset many who hold this site sacred. However, redemption and reconciliation eventually became part of his history as well. In 1992, Ozzy personally apologized to then Mayor Nelson Wolff and expressed genuine remorse for his actions. Decades later, in 2015, he revisited the Alamo grounds to learn and appreciate the site's profound history, openly demonstrating humility and understanding. At the Alamo, we honor history in all of its complexities. Today, we acknowledge Ozzy Osbourne's journey from regret to reconciliation at the historic site, and we extend our condolences to his family, friends, and fans around the world. May he rest in peace. But yeah, Ozzy visiting the site back in 2015 with his son Jack.
Can't do it. Look a right again, although myself. It's all right for you. You ain't the POD Ozzy Osbourne.
I'm with. Hey, it's my dad. Hey. Sorry, Jim. All right, where's Dr. Harden? Listen, we all want to have fun. All right, so if everyone could take 10 steps back, that would be awesome.
You handled it very well. I wish you'd have been there 25 years ago.
I totally could have stopped you from getting arrested. I'd have been like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We all want to have fun here, right? Hey, Dr. Harden.
Dr. Steve Harden.
How are you? Nice to meet you, Steve.
Glad you're here. Now, is this your first time to the Alamo?
This is my first time.
Not mine.
Not his.
You've been here before.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sure. Well, we were planning a walk around the Alamo compound, but I'm told that that's pretty much out.
Yeah.
Let's
okay.
want to go inside the shop?
Yeah, I think they're just going to make a path, and we're going to start.
And then it happened. We walked off into the sunset and into the Alamo. Our mission here in Texas was complete. Yeehaw.
February 19th of 1982, Ozzy arrested after urinating on the Alamo, booked into jail, later released. In February of 2024, went on social media on the eve of the 42nd anniversary of his visit to San Antonio and his subsequent arrest. Osbourne posting a photo on his Instagram account when he was released from custody hours after his arrest with a big grin on his face. Banned from performing for 10 years, a whole decade in the Alamo City. Osbourne later apologizing twice for the incident, realizing he had made a bit of a mistake.
That's one of the downfalls of alcohol and drugs. When you're stupid, you do stupid things. And one of the stupid things I did was urinate up the Alamo, which is one of, singing a song, Road to Nowhere, the wreckage of my past keeps haunting me, it just won't leave me alone. I'm not really proud of it, but nevertheless, it happened. I understand I offended an awful lot of people, and I'm not trying to say, please forgive me, because the bottom of the line, I've done it, and I've tried to make amends.
Then, of course, as you heard earlier, the audio from him and his son Jack visiting the Alamo in 2015. And in April of 2018, Ozzy returning to San Antonio, and, of course, fans watching as he was escorted by the police inside of the Alamo finally. And the Alamo now sending its condolences to the Osbourne family after the death of Ozzy Osbourne at the age of 76.
I remember the Alamo.
Much more to get to over the last hour of our program as we remember the life and times and the music and the artistry of the great Prince of effing Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne. More of his solo stuff now from his second solo CD, Diary of a Madman. It's Flying High Again.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Thanks to Dan sending in a couple of images of Ozzy. These are some AI-created images. I've seen these on social media. One of him and Randy Rhoads embracing, saying Oz and Randy forever together. Another one with Ozzy exiting the stage of life, sees you on the other side. It's him ascending a staircase to heaven, surrounded by bats flying around. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. Got messages from all sorts of different people. Ryan said, thanks for doing the Ozzy tribute. He also sent in a funny video of Zakk Wylde talking about sneaking beers to Ozzy in the bathroom after a show. I'd seen that video before. Very funny. Travis wants to know if I played Perry Mason yet. I have not. I'm working on it, dude. I only have so much time. TJ said his favorite memory of Ozzy was first time seeing him at the fairgrounds in Oklahoma City. Energy was crazy. I was a sophomore in high school, and while Rhythm is a Dancer, I Will Always Love You, End of the Road by Boyz II Men, and Bohemian Rhapsody were the number one songs, I was down front with my classmates against my mother's wishes. I guess the events of 10 years before had her concerned. That poor bat. Good times. Yeah, I saw Ozzy a bunch of times on Ozfest and a bunch of other tours and stuff, and it was awesome. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I will cherish those memories forever. I've been to hundreds, maybe thousands of concerts in my life, and a lot of them kind of run together. It gets worse as I get older and I drink too much, but the Ozzy ones definitely stand out. As I was a young man in the mid to late 90s, going to see Ozzy and all the other bands, I mean, you think of all the bands that got their start on Ozfest way back in the day. It's pretty cool. As I mentioned, Ozzy, not just, of course, a singer, an artist, a musician, also a celebrity, right, which is its own thing. We know about the Osbournes, the MTV reality show with the dogs and the yelling, Sharon! He also appeared in 2002 at the White House Correspondents' Dinner and got a shout-out from the president.
What a fantastic audience we had tonight. Washington power brokers, celebrities, Hollywood stars, Ozzy Osbourne. Okay, Ozzy. Might have been a mistake. The thing about Ozzy is he's made a lot of big hit recordings. Party with the Animals, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, Facing Hell, Black Skies, and Bloodbath in Paradise. Ozzy, Mom loves your stuff.
Solid joke there from the former president, George Bush, at the White House Correspondents' Dinner in 2002. Ozzy was actually in several Super Bowl commercials, including one from 2011 about 5G and Justin Bieber.
Welcome to 4G.
We just got a new version.
All aboard the 5G train. How many bloody G's are there?
I'll take it from there.
Okay.
We're going to lose Ozzy. Bring in the new one.
Ozzy's in the background.
What?
In the background.
The new buyback program. You buy it now, we buy it back when it's time to upgrade. It's Bieber 6G Fever.
What's a 6G?
What's a Bieber?
I don't know. Kind of looks like a girl.
Remember that 2011 when Bieber could make fun of himself and say he looked like a girl and people wouldn't get all pissed off? Yeah, those were the good old days. Ozzy, of course, also appearing in some films, including The Jerky Boys. Way back in the day, one of my favorites. So super funny. I always thought that was just a hilarious scene, and it was kind of out of nowhere.
Excuse me. Who are you guys? Where's Bob and BJ?
They're in a jet now over Japan. We heard they got a gig with the monkeys.
The fucking monkeys? You're kidding me.
Don't worry about nothing. Me and Jocko here, they've been wiring up for years. We'll wire up a toilet seat. It'll suck the pants off you. We're the best.
Also in Little Nicky with Adam Sandler.
Behold your new Satan.
What's that? What's with the ball?
Ozzy?
Holy sh**. No.
You can do it, Ozzy! Bite his freaking head off!
Spit him in the flag.
Get here, Ozzy. Grand Central, Nikki.
Start running.
We'll never make it.
You gotta die.
I'll just go to heaven.
Not if you do something bad right before you die.
You're right.
Hey, Nikki, cover Winkler in bees. You can do it.
Sorry, Henry. Okay, do me.
With what?
I don't know.
Here, kill him with this.
Appearing on a bunch of talk shows. He, of course, performed on SNL way back in the early 2000s. Brittany Murphy as the hostess. He was on the Bernie Mac show way back in the day. On an episode of Punk'd. King of Queens. Ozzy and Jack's World Detour. Appeared as himself on an episode of The Connors. Been in a bunch of movies as well, not just Little Nicky, also in Ghostbusters, Austin Powers and Goldmember. List goes on and on. Ozzy, not just a singer and musical artist, he was also in a bunch of other stuff. Pretty cool to see that. We've got the friggin' sports coming up in just a bit as we continue to pay homage to the late, great Prince of Effing Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne. It's Shot in the Dark. Not title track, excuse me, from his fourth solo album, The Ultimate Sin, Shot in the Dark.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. More from Brian and Gene is coming up.
Shot in the Dark from Ozzy on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. She is still on vacation, be back next week. We today are, of course, paying tribute to Ozzy, passed away at the age of 76. The family releasing an official statement yesterday saying it is with more sadness than mere words can convey that we have to report that our beloved Ozzy Osbourne has passed away this morning. He was with his family, surrounded by love. We ask everyone to respect our family privacy at this time. Youngblood, who I don't really know much about, to be perfectly honest with you, but of course had a hell of a performance at the Back to the Beginning concert just a couple of weeks ago, released a statement after the passing of Ozzy saying, "I didn't think you would leave so soon. The last time we met, you were so full of life and your laugh filled up the room, but as it is written with legends, they seem to know the things that we don't. I will never forget you. You will be in every single note I sing and with me every single time I walk on stage. Your cross around my neck is the most precious thing I own. You asked me once if there was anything you could do for me, and as I said then and as I will say now for all of us, the music was enough. You took us on your adventure, an adventure that started it all. I am truly heartbroken. You were the greatest of all time." That is a tribute from Youngblood to Ozzy, who, of course, passed away yesterday at the age of 76. Tons and tons of tributes out there from Metallica, Nikki Sixx, Judas Priest, Dave Mustaine, Corey Taylor. I mean, everybody. Got bad news, happy music coming up a bit later on. Also going to pick a winner for Workforce Wednesday, so make sure you sign up on the website or on the app. Your chance to win freebies from the Sweet Stop and Sandwich Shop in Preston. And there is a announcement that was recently made by the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, revealed that Cookie Monster from Sesame Street has been designated as the Grand Marshal for this year's Brickyard 400.
The time has come for this cookie. Nom, 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 nom. Oh, nom, 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 nom.
Cookie Monster loves him some cookies, and he apparently loves himself some racing. This Sunday at the Brickyard, Cookie Monster going to be the Grand Marshal. Reported by Fox 59 down there in Indianapolis, the blue character from Sesame Street expected to lend his distinctive voice for the Start Your Engines call. To kick off the festivities, spectators encouraged to bring their families for not just motorsport excitement, but also a cookie break.
Now, what starts with the letter C? Cookie starts with C. Let's think of other things that starts with C. Who cares about other things? C is for cookie. That's good enough for me. C is for cookie. That's good enough for me. C is for cookie. That's good enough for me. Oh, cookie, cookie, cookie starts with C.
Yeah. Cookie may start with C, but Brickyard starts with B. Cookie Monster, the Grand Marshal for a NASCAR race this weekend. Interesting. Cup driver Bubba Wallace, part of Cookie Monster's summer road trip. Cookie asking Wallace if there's room in his car for a ferry, a couple of chickens, Big Bird, Snuffleupagus. Cookie also letting Bubba Wallace know they're going to stop at all the bakeries and try all the cookies. The Sesame Street road trip will be hitting state fairs and baseball parks throughout the nation all this summer. And this weekend, it'll be at IMS, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, for the Brickyard 400, where Cookie Monster will tell the drivers to start their engines. Nice little crossover. We got a couple more Ozzy songs to get to. And, of course, bad news, happy music as well. And if you didn't get enough Ozzy today, you can, of course, listen to it on your own. And you can tune in this weekend. A Prince of Effing Darkness weekend. Right here on 95.7 The Rock. And I'm sure we'll be doing something similar on 92.9 The X to celebrate his life and times. I only had so many hours. I could only play so many songs. So if I didn't get to the one you wanted to hear, I apologize. But we will get to some more Ozzy in just a couple minutes and bad news with happy music.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril. Now that's just nasty. Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
You order up some tacos through an app. Some random stranger shows up to deliver your tacos or whatever it is you ordered through the app. Next thing you know, the guy is inappropriately grabbing and kissing you during the delivery. That's what happened to a woman in California, and she's speaking out about it now.
There are people that have been through things that maybe you don't always fight back because you're scared. He deeply gazed into my eyes and had marks. So it's it almost felt like it was a control over me or something. I don't want to beat myself up for freezing because I should have said, stop, this is making me uncomfortable. But I just didn't know what to do and I froze.
This isn't one of those pecks on the cheek type things that some people do. Not that that's right either, but Sabrina Banks sharing her experience with the hope that it won't happen to anybody else. The whole uncomfortable interaction with a contractor driving for Walmart captured on camera while she was at her friend's place. Said there are people who have been through things that maybe you don't always fight back because you're scared. She broke down in tears while talking to CBS Sacramento about what happened. Delivery driver inappropriately grabbing and kissing her during the delivery. And it's all on video. Banks said that the delivery guy, all smiles the moment he got out of his car. She signed off on the delivery, and then all of a sudden the driver asked what her name was. Then he grabbed her arm, pulled her in for a kiss, barely missing her lips. Banks said she typically orders contactless delivery, but since she was at her friend's place, she thought it would be easier just to meet the driver in person. Walmart issuing a statement saying, we take customer trust seriously. This type of behavior by independent contractors violates the Spark driver platform terms of use. Upon learning of this incident, we removed the driver from the platform. We remain committed to ensuring safe and positive shopping experiences for all customers. A sergeant with the police department there said maybe it's a cultural thing, maybe it was something innocent, or maybe there was something more sinister and there's more to it. Sheriff's office investigating, trying to talk with the man who could face sexual battery charges. That's creepy. Everybody knows the first rule of Fight Club, right? The first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
It's so important that it's the first two rules. Unfortunately, somebody on Long Island is talking about Fight Club. So were the investigators there after a Fight Club broke out with a bunch of people in a park and somebody brought a gun to a fist fight. Unauthorized so-called Fight Club staged on Sunday in the back portion of a Brookhaven Town Park. Video from the event posted on social media belonging to one of the organizers. The guy's name is Malachi. Said, we were promoting guns down, gloves up. It's not a fight club. This 19-year-old said he used flyers to promote the event online. Even though he was among the 13 people arrested, the event's aim was apparently very different from what happened. Malachi, the organizer of the event, said, to stop street violence and bring the youth together and bring the community together. The sheriff there, chief of police, said anytime you get a large gathering of people, things can go wrong, and that's exactly what happened. It was a boxing event. A fight outside of a makeshift ring erupted during the boxing event. One person then fired a gun with blanks in it. Two teens were injured. Malachi, the organizer of the event, said it was just a tragic thing that happened. That should have never happened because we don't promote any of that. Police now investigating to see if the organizers' real intent was to stage the fighting for content for social media and then use it to make money. But yeah, this guy's promoting pseudo boxing events in a park with a bunch of kids, and somebody shows up with a gun with blanks in it, starts firing off rounds. The town supervisor there said people are tired of this stupidity. Believes the incident demonstrates how the push to create social media content can harm people, and it needs to stop. People need to steer away from this criminal nonsense because if no one watched it, they wouldn't make any money. I hear you clucking, big chicken. Bad news with happy music. Last one. Get back to the Ozzy here in a moment. A hashtag Florida husband and wife accused of leaving their infant child inside an unlocked running car while they were inside a bar drinking.
Look at you. You have a baby in a bar.
Actually, the baby's outside the bar in the vehicle, which is running, and I'm assuming the air conditioning is on so the baby doesn't die from overheating, but you still can't leave an infant in a car unlocked outside of a bar while you go inside and have a bunch of wobbly pops. It's just not a thing. You can't do it. Clarice Finnegan and Norman Finnegan have both been charged with felony child neglect without great bodily harm. By the way, Norman's 60, Clarice is 28. Giggity. It's about 10:30 at night. Sheriff's office got a 911 call about a child that was left unattended in a vehicle outside the Smiles Bar in Palm Coast, about 60 miles south of Jacksonville. Deputies got there, saw the infant in the back seat of a white Volkswagen Passat, improperly secured in a car seat. And when I hear infant, I think like almost newborn, right? We're not talking about a toddler here. We're talking about like a baby. Video provided by the sheriff's office showed responding law enforcement officers suggesting smashing the window to get inside until they realized the car was actually unlocked with the key in the ignition and the air conditioning on. The infant appeared to be in good health, sleeping in the car seat, did not appear to have any injuries. Less than 10 minutes after the deputies got there, a woman left the bar, approached one of them, telling him the car was hers. She was later confirmed to be Clarice Finnegan. Immediately handcuffed and questioned, told the law enforcement officer that she was not at the bar alone, that her husband was also inside. They went into the bar, found her husband, detained him as well. A bartender inside of the place, Smiles Bar, told deputies both the husband and wife had been drinking, but that Clarice had not been there long and had only been had a little bit to drink. So she would have been okay, right? She would have been fine? No, of course not. Yeah. These two geniuses. The Florida Department of Children and Families now investigating the matter. And that infant may not be going home with them anytime soon. Can't be doing that. Bad news with happy music on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. One more tune. The very last one that he ever performed on stage. We have spanned his entire career, or tried to at least. It was hard to, fit in a ton of music. Unfortunately, I only have 3 hours here. But we started, of course, way back at 6 a.m. Kicking things off with the title track of Black Sabbath's first album, the self-titled album, Black Sabbath. Wandering through their second and third albums, all the way to Ozzy's solo career with The Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman, all the way to Ultimate Sin and No More Tears. And now here we are, back again from their second album, title track that they performed at Back to the Beginning just a couple of weeks ago, Paranoid from Black Sabbath.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings. Call.
Hello?
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
rockmornings.com. Hit the website for all of our contact info. Don't forget, you can also download the 95.7 The Rock app or the 92.9 The X app and send us voicemails and images and videos through the app. Got a text from Chad, said, one of the many regrets I have in life was not going to see Ozzy at Red Wing. I forgot how many years ago it was. Rest in peace to a true legend. Great show today. Thank you, Chad. Appreciate that. Again, paying homage, tribute to the Prince of Effing Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne, throughout the morning, playing obviously Ozzy tunes and Sabbath tunes. And Paul texted in, said, rest in peace, Ozzy. Farewell. Thanks for all the memories. Long live the Prince of Darkness. Alex texting in earlier said, good morning, folks. I am absolutely destroyed. Yesterday was an awful day. I think you're not alone. A lot of people probably feel the very same way. Drywall Bill wanted to hear some Crazy Train. We did that earlier. Ned said, any chance for No More Tears if it hasn't been played yet? I unfortunately only had a certain amount of time, and I did not get to it this morning. Sorry, Ned. Jim texted in, said, a legend is gone. Great childhood memories. No doubt. Also got a message from my guy, TJ. Said, favorite memory of Ozzy was the first time seeing him at the fairgrounds in OKC. I was down in front with my classmates against my mother's wishes. I guess the events of 10 years before had her concerned. That poor bat. Legend, dude. Legend. Also, thanks to Ryan, who texted in, sent me a Facebook message about Zach Wilde sneaking beers to Ozzy underneath a bathroom stall. Also said, thanks for the Ozzy tribute. You're welcome. Happy to oblige. Dude, when a legend passes away, you got to pay homage. You got to pay tribute, right? That's what you got to do. Also got a voicemail from Jay.
May he rest in peace, our minds and our souls. You forever changed our lives. Love you, Ozzy.
One from Ace.
This is Ace calling in to give my respects to the legendary Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy, I still remember when I was a small child, and I remember coming across my dad's CDs of yours, his VHS tape of the Ultimate Sin tour, and I just remember being completely inspired by you to want to pursue my own success in life. And largely thanks to you and the inspiration that you gave me, I am now a proud member.
Well, cut off there. Sorry, Ace. Thank you, though, for the message. Appreciate it. Lots of other people sending in their memories of Ozzy and the times that they maybe regretted not going to see him. And I always tell you that, buy the tickets, go to the show, live your life, because you never know when you're not going to get a chance to do it again. So thank you very much to everybody who came along with the journey this morning. We appreciate it. Get to some more Ozzy and Black Sabbath here in just a bit.